Hey, Janice.
Hello, my friend. You found some internet, did you?
I did. I'm actually home.
Yeah, I can see you're home. You got home. Did you get up to Edmonton?
No, I decided to just go straight home. So
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Well, the weather was nice for you for driving and that.
Well, it snowed like snowed overnight on Wednesday, right? So
Yes.
it was like roads were kind of crappy from Morin down to
Oh, so you went home that day. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So no,
Uh
I went home yesterday.
oh,
And
okay.
but when it was overnight, they don't plow the the 582. It's
Okay.
just not it's a secondary road. So
Yeah.
it's always yucky. And then you get on the 21 and it's even worse. And then finally, when it turns into the 9, it gets a little better. But from the Morin corner up to east of Hannah, it was not nice. So,
Okay.
anyways, I made it home.
Good. Good. Oh, good. You had a good overall trip anyways, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was so good to have lunch, and that food was delicious. I gave
Yeah.
my leftovers to John for his lunch, and I said, "You're gonna love this." And he did. He said, came home, he goes, "You were right. That was even reheated. That was so good."
Yeah,
Right?
it was
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So,
So we'll be going there
well,
again for
that's good. That's good.
good place. It's good to find a place that is really good for Chinese. Like,
For
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. And here comes Lane.
Hi, Lane.
Hello, Lane.
Good morning.
Good
Happy,
morning.
How are you
happy,
guys?
happy birthday last week. Was it your birthday?
Thank you very much. It was on Sunday, so I got spoiled rotten.
That's
Oh,
good. That's
good.
I,
that's the makes the best day ever.
yeah,
Was it a
yeah.
big number for you? Like, was it a
No, it wasn't 38.
okay?
So my husband just decided to plan something special, so he
Oh,
succeeded.
what a sweetheart. That's so
Yeah,
nice.
my sister and her husband and um, my husband and I went to Canmore, and we had like a double room, so big suite with two big king beds and hot tubs. So we hot tubbed every day and ate really well. Went to a really fancy restaurant one night. And on the menu, it was called Trust Your Journey. So you
Oh,
just got whatever the chef served you. And yeah, it was incredible. So
Oh, wow. I love
yeah,
that. Trust
yeah,
your journey. That's so fun.
yeah. And then yeah, we hiked the Grotto Canyon and just had some mountain air in the lungs. So that was good.
Nice. That is nice. And it's our weather's been pretty nice, eh? For
Oh yeah, it's been amazing.
yeah.
Little more chilly today, but the weekend was awesome.
Yeah.
when I drove home yesterday, I looked at the temperature here when I was driving, and I think it was -4 when I left Calgary. It was -20 here.
Really?
It's like, oh, I don't
Oh
know if I
really?
want to go home.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, it's a little cold overnight here. So I was like, no snow. There's still no snow. It's just lots of frost on the ground. So.
Yeah. Oh goodness. I'm
Hmm.
just gonna quick text Delmaine. So have they been getting cold weather like that just because it's the prairies?
No, it was just a fluke thing, like Tuesday and Wednesday overnights. So
Oh, okay.
it was primarily we follow the same, very close to Calgary's weather.
Yeah.
It's usually a day later. So, but and like I am always checking the weather out in Calgary because like you said, sounds like you want to live here.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, we usually get such a big deep freeze through December some point. That makes shopping difficult for those of us that put our shopping off to the last minute. That's me.
I got most of mine done when I was out in Calgary. So
Oh, that's good. I
yeah.
just always feel like I have lots of time. I don't have to go yet. Well, Micah can't make it today. Haven't heard from anyone else, but just check in with not Lindsay, Delmain, because she's been pretty consistent. I don't know about Lindsay and Jen.
Well,
But
so far it's the three of us. So
yes, and I love this module. It is just an inspiring one. I love it. And we get to dive into more of it after Christmas. So this is our last Mystic Biz call together. And then we do paint next week, and we get the beginning of December, the Soulfully Aligned Journey. And then, of course, the Creative Mystic has another module, I think 2 modules left for that one. So we'll still meet in December, but it's a lighter load for everybody so that you can just enjoy family time and not add any stress to your plate. And then in January, we'll start the Wealthy Woman Entrepreneur, which is cool because we talk a little bit about her today. And then the money mindset after that. So some of it is repetitive, but it's good because we need it. Absolutely need it. How's it going for you guys so far? Any thoughts or comments you want to share? Or are we good?
I'm still just plugging along. It's a process for myself, and it's finding the courage to step forward in creating a business.
It's a courageous path all around, for sure.
Yeah.
The one call, Kelly, you said that you're scared of succeeding.
Yeah.
Do you know how powerful that is?
I do.
Because you're probably going to be really successful.
Thank you.
If you're scared of it.
It's just making that first step. Or taking that first step. So
Totally.
Yeah. Yes. And that's today's module, Permission to Succeed. So that's perfect. So as we I'd love for you guys to think about too any feedback for me on the whole program, or if you have like anything that you would take a minute to write down as I begin to promote for the next group. If there's any testimonials, I hate asking for testimonials. Oh, that's but I love getting feedback to tweak and improve too. So it's like, okay, I got to go both ways. So I'm putting that out there. And for anyone that's watching the recording for us too, any feedback at all, I am completely open to, and I would love to hear it. So I do have a group forming already I had another person sign up yesterday. So I'm
right on.
Yeah, it's actually a gentleman from India, Delhi. So that will be interesting. He wants to bring this forward for men. So
wow, that's awesome.
That is awesome. Yes. Go ahead, Kelly.
There's something you said, is there, you got any feedback? So this is just coming from me with Power of Words. I forget what her name is. Anyways, she wrote a book, The Power of Words. And oftentimes, and we will be going through this in January, you said the money mindset. So I would invite you to consider saying money, mind, flow, rather than mindset, as when you're set in concrete. Nothing moves.
I like that.
When you flow like the river, and it becomes very fluid. So that's an invitation for you, with just a play on words. When you say it, my whole body does this.
Okay, we're changing it right now. It's going to be
Thank you.
Mind flow. I love that. I've never
thought of that. So I don't know if you guys are ever paid attention to how I speak, very rarely do I ever say the word try.
Mhm.
And when somebody says it, I cringe. So that's just one of my other pet peeves. I pay attention to it. I work hard at it. Many people would say, I try really hard at it. And the difference is the energy in the I work hard at it and I try.
Yeah.
And so it's like somebody said to me, hey, do you want to go for lunch on Tuesday? Yeah, I'll try and make it.
Mm.
So that's kind of like, are they going to make it or are they not? So let's reword that. Do you want to go for lunch on Tuesday? Yeah, I'll put that in my calendar and I'll meet you for lunch. Or no, I can't make it. So there's that, it's that leaves it up in the air. So same with the set and the flow. So that's just two of my little suggestions. And
Thank
I don't
you,
know.
Kelly. That is
Yeah.
so true. It reminds me of Yoda. There is no try. And I often think about that. It's like, well, no, when you say you'll try, then there's no commitment.
Yeah, I would like to have a confirming answer. Yes or no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
So
Yes,
and
I
you
will
don't
meet you for dinner. on Tuesday.
or no. There's no. And there's no requirement for an excuse.
Yeah.
No, I have to take the kids to the park. No, I gotta go laundry and no, just no. So just
that helps because yesterday that is so cool that you said that, because yesterday as I'm creating a new program and as I'm working on it, there was a big part of it is mindset. And I didn't like saying that. I put it in and then I took it out. Then I'm like, well, what else? I put it in again because I'm like, well, that's what it is, right? So I love that mind flow rather than
there are many coaches that use the word mindset.
yes.
And when they are shown the difference between set and flow, they see it and then they start using it. So it just becomes an awareness.
Yeah.
So.
Totally. And it's easier to be open to it. Like
Well, the energy kind of softens. It softens.
Yeah.
Once you've been told it, I don't know, Elaine, if you're picking up on that or not, but it's like, yeah, mine's set in concrete. It
Yeah.
can't move anywhere. Or is mine flow like the river? And it's like, it's to me, it's softer. Anything cement is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Water can be very hard. Water is one of the most powerful elements on the earth.
Yeah.
And it can also be soft. So it's like, wow.
It's so
That's one of my little things. And like you said, you wanted some feedback. And that's my it's an invitation for you to have a look at it and see if you want to make some changes.
okay. We will. Absolutely. So I'm gonna
I remembered the lady.
Anytime I say mindset, catch me so that I don't forget.
I remembered the lady's name. Her name is Yvonne Oswald.
Yvonne
And Oswald. And the book is called The Power of Words.
I like that.
I've actually bought it for a few people, so and gifted it because it's just an interesting concept of how you speak. Because what we are working with on the Creative Mystic is everything is energy. Our words are energy.
It is.
Thoughts become things, words become our lifestyle. So what we tell ourselves and what we think becomes it.
Yes. It's so true. Okay. Well, keep the feedback coming. I'm open to it. All right. And Delmaine just is on her way to a market in Fort Saskatchewan. So she said she's going to listen once she gets in her car. So I'm going to get started for us. So anytime here you have a question or want to say something, please just interrupt me. And otherwise I will get us going. So all righty. Permission to succeed. Oops. So this is that fear of success, right? And how we're going to be talking today about how we sabotage ourselves, and the big fears that come up. So this is a really good one to hone into and just, is that me? Is that something that comes up for me? And how can I work around it? And fears and the things that flow through your mind are very subtle. And sometimes we don't see them until we unlayer or clear away some of the other fears that are more obvious. And then it's like, oh, and then there's this other little one here. But today is about permission to be clear about who you are and what you want. Your essence, who you are, that beautiful, beautiful personal energy within you is the substance of your being. And you need to give yourself permission to be clear on who that is. So that could be the very first step, is like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not even really sure who I am, because I've been living my life for everyone else. I've been living my life in survival mode. And that is something that I had to really dive into through my 20s and 30s. Like, took me 20 years to kind of start to unravel, like, who exactly am I? Because growing up, and as oftentimes we grow up in, if you've grown up in a dysfunctional home, then you truly don't have a sense of who you are. You walk into your home and you assess the environment before you respond to anything or react to anything. You're always on guard. You're always adjusting your energy to fit in the room, right? And this is a pattern for many, many people who have been through trauma or been in addiction households. So it's really good if you haven't been there, and I'll talk about that later, but to take the time to figure out, well, who exactly am I? Universe, help me figure this out. Who would I be if I didn't have limits and barriers and things to work through? Also giving yourself permission to be on a journey, knowing that you don't have to figure out who you are exactly, because you're always growing, learning, expanding, building into new awarenesses, and of course, celebrating your successes. So it's a journey of evolution and growth over a lifetime. But you're getting clearer and clearer of who you are and what you want to create. So permission to step into your greatness, break free of the tethers that keep you from rising into your greatness. So there's 5 of these here, permissions. Allowing yourself to be successful, to be your full light, to be the full expression of who you are, to be able to say, I have a voice and I get to say what I'm feeling. And when somebody's stepping over my boundaries, I'm allowed to say, because they're allowed to say. So why am I not allowed to say? So giving yourself permission. And the whole thing is that nobody around you is going to give you permission. You have to give yourself permission. Nobody is going to tell you, oh, okay, what is it that you wanted to say? What, go ahead. We're listening, right? You have to step into that. You have to realize that giving yourself permission for any of these is, you're the one, right? So often we sit and wait for people to say, you know what, you're really good at that. You should do that. It's like, you choose what it is you want to do. Permission to be supported. So you don't have to do this alone. You get to have a therapist to help you work through it. You get to join masterminds and groups. You get to have a coach or a business coach. And you're never there. You're always expanding and growing. And there's always somebody that is there that can help you grow even more. So don't try to do it alone. Keep looking around and going, where's my new teacher? How can I learn today? Right? As you reach out for support and growth, your business will continue to expand. So this is like good for life or your business, but we are kind of focused in on business here. So I'm going to keep talking about a business, but keep looking at it as your life too, and who you are becoming and how you are growing and expanding, because you want to be reaching your highest and best potential all the time. Your best potential to be a great mom, a great friend, a great spouse, to be, better at your work that you do. So it's a journey. The fast track is owning your own business because you will bump into things and you have to keep surviving your business. So your business becomes like this part that is attached to you. It is you. And so it reflects back to you constantly where you are at. So you constantly want to be, looking at it and expanding and clearing stuff away. And then the last one is permission to rise together. This is a big one. We have so many wounds as women, so many sisterhood wounds, mother wounds, like these are all real. And remembering there's no competition. If you want to know where your wounds are at, look around you at your family. Right? When you have like a sister-in-law that pokes you, when you have a mother-in-law or a mother or a sister that you keep responding to them in a way that's your old pattern and you just can't seem to break out of that, like those are the wounds you want to work on. The wound of being rejected by a sister or rejected by a girlfriend, that's huge. And that's when we start to get those patterns within our women groups of being nasty to each other, competitive, comparison, all of that. So take a good look at where you are at and realize that we truly, as women, we need to rise together. We need to come together because we are so incredibly powerful. When you look at women and you go, okay, if you want to get something done, grab a group of women together. Like they've got it, right? Look at all the women's church groups that come together and pull meals together for someone in need. And, there's so much evidence of how powerful we are when we work together. We really need to keep cleaning house on all these old wounds, right? The more we all step into our full power, like everyone benefits from that. And that is how we change the world. It is our own personal wounds that will hold us back from creating these changes in our world. As I always look at, okay, there's no woman in the world that would ever raise a child to go to war. That's a very male patriarch. Oh my God. You know what I'm trying to say. Way of leading. Women would not lead that way. And we're growing right now. This divine feminine is growing in order to step into that leadership role and I'm not saying we're taking it away from the men, because we absolutely love our divine masculine partners. But that way is not working anymore. We know that, right? Okay. So entelechy. Entelechy is a term given to the force that guides the inherent potential in everything to manifest from the great void to this physical world. So coming from the universal void and coming in to grow in the world. This was a term that was first declared by Aristotle, the philosopher who lived like back in, 380 BC. Right? Entelechy. So it's like, this is not new, but it seems to be new for us, right? You are, and this is what it means, you are wired for success. Entelechy has been known by the ancients as the higher guidance embedded into every living cell driving its development. I think Wayne Dyer where I might have learned this was from Wayne Dyer. So entelechy knows that there is a intention implanted into every seed or cell, every cell that manifests into the world, that it is going to grow into the oak tree, into the potato plant, into the daisy, right? There's no doubt there. It's an intelligence, it's an intention, right? So emotionally, intellectually, and creatively, every human being also has their own entelechy in their cells that contains the path to their highest level of wisdom, success, love, and contribution. Our entelechy understands why we are here and who we're capable of becoming. Whether or not we become that highest and best version of yourself is up to us. We have an advantage over the oak tree that is supposed to grow into this big, huge tree and live for many, many years and be its ultimate potential, but it can't move its seed from place to place in order to find the best environment. We can, right? We can place ourselves in the best learning growth environments. So we have advantage. And what this means, when I first learned this, it's like we are literally wired for creative expansion. When you're conscious of your entelechy and connected with it, you are tapped into divine guidance. Right? It's like our destiny is success. Our destiny is, right from the very beginning, to grow into our highest and best potential. That destiny is there for each and every one of us. It's not just for one person or that person, right? So something more is not only possible for you, it's actually meant for you. Permission to succeed, right? Claim your divine potential. Only you can decide the truth of who you are becoming and the beauty you have to bring to the world. So, and I want you to know that there's no expectation on you from anyone. If you decide that, no, I really like who I am right now, this is where I'm staying. I like my life right now, this is where I'm staying, then awesome. Live your life, enjoy your life. But there's some people that are like, I know there's something more for me. And they're looking outside of themselves for proof, for permission to go there. And this is your permission right here, right? You have it within you. So the wealthy woman mindset is all about stepping into the full potential, continually evolving and growing into your full potential. The wealthy woman mind flow. You didn't tell me, Kelly. I got to go back and fix these. The wealthy woman mind flow. You know you are wise, filled with creative flow, and divinely guided, and you are standing in your power, right? So we're gonna talk a little bit about self-sabotage. We all do it. So what does it look like for you? And there's so many people that have said to me, I know I self-sabotage myself. I just can't figure out how I do it. I don't know what I'm doing. I know that I grow, I get my business to here, and then it comes back down. And then I get it back up to here and it comes back down. And there's a ceiling that I can't seem to break through, right? So we're going to work on that. So there's two different mind flows that I have. This has helped me. If I identify who the princess is, as opposed to who the wealthy woman or the queen or the priestess, you might say, any of those terms, what's the difference between them? Because I remember somebody saying once, it's okay to be the princess. It's okay to like nice things and to want, more comfort in your life. And I thought it didn't sit well with me. I was like, no, I'm the queen. I'm not the princess, right? Because the princess, to me, here's what the princess does. And if you look at any Disney movie, it's going to show you. The princess worries about being liked. The queen is self-assured. Now, oftentimes the queen is in Disney is evil, but look at her. She's self-assured. She's purpose-led, right? She knows what she needs to do, as opposed to the princess being emotionally lost. I'm not sure what I should do, right? The princess is waiting to be saved. The queen takes responsibility. She takes it on herself. She's the one that says, if you can't do it, I'll do it, right? The princess is afraid of challenges, but the queen loves creating solutions, or the wealthy woman will say, this powerful woman loves creating solutions. The princess feels entitled versus intends to spread kindness. Now in Disney, that's not always the case, but for the wealthy woman, yes, she is looking at, how do I make this world a better place? Right? How do I spread this energy and allow it to ripple out? And the princess is afraid of challenges, whereas the wealthy woman loves creating solutions. She can look at a challenge and go, okay, well, how do we do this? Let's get creative. How are we going to solve this? Right? Princess feels entitled. I skipped over afraid of challenges. Sorry. Intends to spread kindness. The princess is naive, where the wealthy woman is wise, and she gains her wisdom by the continual reaching out, connecting, linking arms with other wise women. Right?
When you say naive, and in reference to a princess, oftentimes I would look at it and go, experience.
Yes.
And when you're linking, like you said, linking arms with another woman and another group, that's where you're gaining your knowledge and your experience. You know, you can be 15 years old. It has nothing to do with age.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with experience and exposure. So if you're young and you've been exposed to this all your life, well, your naivety goes away. You could be the queen at 15, even though you're, because of all your experience you've lived. And then you can meet somebody that's 60 that's very naive.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't necessarily do with age. The wisdom comes from like you said, connecting with others.
Yeah, so much. Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah. The princess also can live in fantasy. Okay, so when I was younger, I was the dreamer of the family. But as I grew older, it's like, no, I'm creating my own reality. I'm not just dreaming, I'm believing and creating, right? And the princess expects it all to be perfect, whereas the wealthy woman knows life is not going to be perfect when I reach all my dreams. Like this is not what I'm expecting. Everything happens for me to keep growing into the person I need to become, right? So I don't expect perfection, but I still want to go after that dream, right? So, so now it's time to purposefully design your wealthy woman mindset. So I hope that kind of helps you, because I found it really helped me. There were so many times where I'd be like, it's like, I deserve this. Universe, I deserve this, right? I'm working hard. I deserve this. And then I go, okay, wait a minute. Stop being the princess, right? If you want it to happen, create it. Yeah. But this is a daily practice. So working on my mind flow is something I do daily. I look at it, I'm aware of it. I have days where I wallow in the princess. Okay. But I'm aware that I'm there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just wallow here for a bit, watch some Netflix, get a blanket, get some ice cream, and be here. But tomorrow I'm going to rise up. I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to rise up. I'm not saying you can't have days like that, because those are the days when actually there's like the therapy for that is that divine feminine is calling out to you to say, you need to take care of yourself. Like you need to have a hot bath with the crystals and oils, light candles, take time for you. That's when you fall into that princess, it's usually that, okay, this is going to be your self-care day, and tomorrow you're going to rise back up into that woman that you are becoming, right? But having that practice of choosing who you're going to be in every situation. Am I going to be the princess or the queen? Am I going to be stepping into that wealthy woman? And in business, you really need to be leading from her, right? As you do this, you'll need to heighten your awareness to the ways we will self-sabotage our greatness. And these are ways we've been conditioned through the years and have accepted as beliefs. It is time to uproot these program beliefs. You can keep going and create success, but eventually these beliefs will weigh you back down and sabotage your success. So for a minute here, look around you to the people who are closest to you, who raised you, and where did they perhaps give up on their dreams? Think about that. Were there people around you that gave up on their dreams? Okay. So first of all, I go, yeah, totally. My dad was a dreamer, a big dreamer. He actually did step into his dream. He quit his job as an engineer when we were just little because he was going to work in the dark. He worked in Raytheon Canada, which was a room, like a building with no windows. They worked on satellite equipment, installing it. And so it was a very like protected area, right? Because it was considered to be like they were going to other countries and installing these satellites and stuff. And so he hated it, and he come home in the dark and he hated it. He was an artist. He's a creative. So he quit and opened up his own business, an art gallery and picture framing store, which was awesome. But he had all these limiting beliefs and fears that he never, ever dealt with and didn't know how. And I mean, bless his heart, there wasn't this information out back then, right? This was 40 years ago or more. I'm older than that. It's more than that. He started his business when I was 12. And so he gave up on the dream of it growing into something more. I remember he talked about, well, we could franchise, we could do this or that, but then he eventually settled for good enough. And good enough was, we were always broke. We barely had money for food. You know, us girls, I was the youngest of 3 girls, and then I had a younger brother later, but we all went out and got jobs. By the time we were 14, we were working jobs as well as going to school in order to buy our own clothes, right? So, I mean, that's fine. It made me who I am. But to go back and look at him and watch him and go, wait a minute, he really gave up. He settled back into, oh, it's not for me, you know? And I hear it in his voice even now. I talked to him yesterday. He had an art show last week. How'd it go? Oh, I didn't sell anything, but you know, he gets that Eeyore energy, and I feel bad for him. But anyway, so you look around, you go, well, who gave up on their dreams? My mom gave up on her dreams, right? Like it was a lot of the times, and a lot of the fact there was no coaching for people to believe in themselves. Or there are people that didn't even dream around you. They didn't have dreams because that wasn't an option. No. If you're working a full-time job, if you've got extra time, go get another part-time job, you know, because they didn't have the luxury to dream. However, there were still people in every time of the progression of years, there was still people that were able to dream and go bigger. And they were the ones that were showing us it could be done, right? So, hi, Dalmaine. Okay, oops. So that is sabotaging yourself when you give up. And there's been many times, I have to tell you, where I said, what am I doing? Like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. I was working so hard and things weren't coming together, and it would move forward a little bit and then go backwards. And usually those were the times when I would say, I'm tired. I'm just tired. Right. And it's easy to self-sabotage and go, it's not worth it. I'm not doing it. Right. I'm not doing it. You're on the road to your dreams. You even may have a month of great success, and then you get scared and give up. Yeah. I had really great success last month, but I don't think I can do it again because, well, that happened because this unique situation and this unique situation. It's like, okay, no, there's something there. We've got to clean it up, right? You might be saying, I just don't think I'm really good at this. I don't think I could do this. I don't think I could get online and talk to people or create a Zoom group and talk to people. We could work through that, right? I'm not cut out for this, so I'm giving up. I easily get bored and quit, right? I'm not like those other women. They're better than me. They're a better speaker. I mean, there's always going to be someone out there that's better than you, or that you perceive as being better than you. But there's always going to be more, because the fear behind that is like a fear of not there's not enough, right? Fear of not being able to have the big dreams. So the sabotage moves in, the saboteur moves in. This typically moves in when we're on the verge of big growth. So keep that in mind. Something big is coming. I can feel it, right? Again, taking a look at what was modeled for you in your past. Did people give up on their dreams? What's the conditioning behind this? Do you believe those big dreams were not meant for you? Oh, that's something I heard a lot of. Oh, we're not meant, that we're just average people. We're not those people. That I heard that in my family a lot. We're not meant for that. That's a life for them, not for us, right? So really pay attention to, what have you taken on that is not yours? It's not even yours, and you're living it. We got to clean that stuff out so that you can really figure out who you are. There's a really good book on that too, and I can't think of the name right now. I am going to find it and post it in the group. It's fantastic. And I'm trying to remember if I just have it on my Audible or if I actually have it, but I'll get the name for it. The wealthy woman realized she is following spirit and a purpose-led path. The princess may become self-indulgent and allow her fears to lead her. Another sabotage is the desire to please. Depending on others' approval is actually being self-obsessed. Think about that. Am I so important that I have to keep everybody else happy? That's very ego-based, right? Afraid to do a live online, afraid to ask for what you need. What ifs? What will they think? What will they say? Seeking blessings or approval, watching the likes or engagement on your pages like obsessively, right? The big fear in that is trying to manipulate everyone into liking you, because this will keep you safe. Guess what? All your fears of what they will think or say, they've already happened and you lived through it. There's already people in this world that don't like you, that have talked about you, that have criticized you. They're already there and you're fine. You're okay.
And if you have the opportunity, give them more to talk about.
Bonnie Raitt, let's give them something to talk about. Yeah. But it's a real fear, and I get it, right? Trying to please everyone else is not selfless behavior. It's actually ego driven. When I became aware of this, I was like, oh my gosh, that hit home for me. That really hit home. It's like, yeah, how important do I think I am? Right? When we try to please everyone else, we are making them into God instead of connecting to the God within us. We are often searching for approval from people who lack integrity, their own divine connection and soul center, and they are not a reflection of your worth. So we are looking at people around us for approval when they're not even connected to their own soul, their own divine being within them, and we're relying on them to give us the feedback. That's just crazy, right? That's crazy. Princess or wealthy woman, mind flow. The princess falls into drama and expects her posse to come and defend her. All her friends. Well, you had a reason to be offended. You know what? They had no right to do that to you, right? She's committed to her woundedness and codependency on being liked. Negative chatter and character assassination will happen, especially if you go online with your business. It's going to happen. There's going to be people, and I haven't experienced much of it yet, but I am aware that there's the other side of, growing my audience. I'm going to grow my enemies too. So there's a post here I'll show you in a minute, but the wise, wealthy woman takes a stand for her greatness and seeing the vision. I think that's a vision. Oh, the value she's being led to create. She goes within to her divine source and moves from that centeredness. She is unapologetic in her conviction to serve in the world. She gives herself permission to be on a journey of learning and growing. She does not say sorry. Do you say sorry a lot? Oh, sorry, I'll get out of your way. Yeah. She will say, I apologize when it is needed. That's a more powerful word. And she stands in her own power while on her journey. So one thing I'm learning is I say sorry a lot, and I'm learning to say, oh, thank you. Thank you for making space for me. Right. If somebody's in your way and you're, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, no, thank you for moving over for me. Thank you for allowing me this space and time, and instead of sorry, we tend to do that.
Or if you're late for a meeting, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry I'm late. Or,
Yeah.
hey, thanks for holding the meeting for me.
Yeah.
It just flows so much easier and smoother.
It does.
It brings in yummy stuff.
Yeah. Appreciation, right?
Yeah.
It's all those people waiting for you in the meeting and they're all going, oh, Jesus, where is she? Right. And then you come in and go, oh, thank you so much for waiting, or even I apologize for holding up the meeting. Thank you for waiting for me. Right. Like that's a more powerful position than coming in meekly like a mouse. I'm so sorry. Right.
And excuse upon excuse. It's like, who cares? You're here now. Let's get moving. Okay, that was my outside voice, girls.
No,
because in reality, yes, we do care, but 14 people at the same time, I'll bet you there's 12 of them that don't care. Why you tripped on the stairs and had to brush yourself off and fix your stocking because you're late for your meeting. They don't care. So it's like, let's get the meeting started and move forward.
Yeah, very much so. Awesome. Yes. And that's again, that ego center going, oh, everyone's going to hate me. It's like, no, everyone has their own stuff to deal with. They're not thinking about you that much. Right. This you might want to print off and hang up is what I did because I need this reminder many times too. Thank you for reminding me that anytime I make another human my source and look for their approval over your guidance, I will be disappointed. Thank you for helping me see this clearly and hand the situation and I hand the situation back to you. Thank you for helping me release any hold that opinions of others had over me and help me return to my connection with you. And so it is. Now, this does not mean that you're not sensitive to other people. This does not, because this means that you are still standing in your power. You are still intending to do good in the world, to spread positive energy, and you're doing your thing, right? And this is just so that you keep coming back to your center. We all know that if we do overstep, if we do offend, if we, it's up to us to take responsibility for our actions and be able to apologize if an apology is needed, right? This is empowerment. The other sabotage is comparison. It's a big one, right? I know that when I first started working with Melanie, my mentor, I was like, how is she doing this? There's no possible way she's doing this, because she went from bankrupt, living in her car in 2017, and now to this date, she's made over 70 million in her coaching business. So if you think there's no market for coaching, you're wrong. $70 million. And when I first came into her world was 2020, I think the summer of 20 or 21. And she was like, I don't know, 30 million, 20 million or whatever. She was celebrating $1 million landmark points along a year, like over and over. And I think when she celebrated 5 million online, she then afterwards went, okay, like celebrating these, like they're coming so fast for her that it's like, we need to maybe not celebrate quite as often. But I was so like, what is she doing? What? She's so young. Like, how does she know all this stuff? Right. And I was comparing myself to her. You might compare, oh no, she's too young, or this person's too old to be doing it. They're not pretty enough. They don't have the look to be online. We're well aware she's got big boobs, right? How'd she do that in such a short time? It can't be true. She must be lying, right? So all of these things, these comparisons come in for us. And the big fear is there is not enough to go around. That's the fear.
When we fall into the comparison trap, what's the best remedy to get out of there?
First of all, your recognition that you're thinking there's not enough in the world. There's not enough space for me. There's not enough of anything. And so redirecting that thought, first of all, being aware of it is the huge thing. And then redirecting it back to, we live in an abundant world. There is space for everyone. And going back to when we looked at, well, if it's a business, how many clients do you really need? Right? You can't take everybody on, right? You might be thinking she's luckier than me, more blessed than me. The heavens chose her, that destiny thing. I'll never hit that big. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not experienced enough. She's just more talented than me. Yeah, maybe her destiny is just greater than mine. I think I'm going to write a post about that, or my email about that this week. It's really
so with that being brought forward, we talk about the comparison, and can we actually go to the point where it's like, I don't want to copy her.
Yeah.
And often, like, and yet that this course that we're doing right now you're teaching us to be like you. So, and when it comes to the end of the course and we want to step forward, are we going to be comparing ourselves to you? This is
Probably.
where
Yeah.
my head goes. It's like, how do we stop that? Or how do we
Well,
change that?
the best
Do you,
way is,
do you, do you
yeah,
think it's about being the authentic you and just be you?
A little bit of that, Dal. Yeah.
absolutely. And also, it's okay to go, and I'm giving you permission, well, not this course, but the Creative Mystic course, to take my notes and to go and use them. You will, as you grow, change it into what works for you. But first of all, it's about being authentic and integrity. So if you are going out and saying the same things as somebody else, give them, say, I learned this from, in my path of this journey of building my business, I had this coach or this mentor, and they helped me work through this, right? Like being authentic in that way.
Okay.
That's all it is if you learn something from someone, give them credit. And that's something that I've been doing all along. I talk a lot about Melanie. I talk a lot about Gabby and the things I learned from her. And I talk a lot about Whitney and the things I learned from her. Although her is a little different. It's not as much of this kind of business mentorship. So yeah.
That was primarily where I was going, is where's the authenticity?
Yeah.
It, in the event that I'm going to do something like this, or any one of us is going to do something like this. Yes, thank you for saying, give credit to the mentor, give credit to your teacher.
Mhm.
So that really helped.
Yeah. And there's a fear around that too. Oh, if I tell them that, they're going to leave me and go to her. It's like, no, people,
what was that saying in the very first chapter? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yep, exactly.
So,
and yeah,
that's a very, very, very true fear for anybody that's starting up, that gives reference to their mentor.
yeah, exactly. And even if you're just saying, these are things I'm learning along the way and I'm sharing it. I totally get that it's hard to go forward because you get inspired by these people and you want to share that. And just know that you will share it in your own words and in your own voice. It will come. And there might be times when you go, oh, maybe I sounded a little too much like Melanie today. I need to tweak that, right? Like need to, give her more credit or something to make, because it's an energy thing, right? If you are holding the energy of guilt, you're blocking yourself. So clear that away, give credit where credit's due, and be authentic in your own growth. Yeah. Okay. And I still am learning how to be authentic in my own growth, like in sharing what I'm going through. I still struggle with that. So, and that's something that I'm working on. But when we go there, we're forgetting our own greatness. And the unlimited potential that we hold. There's a reason why you want to go forth and do this. If that's your desire, there's a reason why that's coming through. You are meant to, right? If somebody climbs a mountain and reaches the top, they go climb Mount Everest and reach the top, and you hear about them and you go, wow, good for you. That's really cool. But it doesn't do anything inside of me because I do not want to climb a mountain. I have a fear of heights. I will keep my feet on the ground. I don't want to go there. It's all good. But if somebody else that's a coach that you've been working with or training with, like let's say somebody else in this group goes out and makes 100,000 this year from coaching, from what they learned from this, you might go, well, how'd she do that? How come she can do that? It's like, okay, so if it's poking you, there's some reason for that. It's a desire that you want to. if it's not poking you and you can go, wow, awesome, good for you, and carry on your day, then it's not for you. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one. Thank you for bringing that up, Kelly, too.
Clearly, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff
Yeah,
because I seem to be talking lots today.
that's good. We
Something
can't,
that, oh, sorry.
no, go.
Something that comes to mind when in this slide is the light you see in someone else is just a reflection of your own light, right? So I try to think of that lots. The part of it that I do struggle with is it's the same when something bothers you with someone, that it's a reflection of something in you. And then sometimes I'm just like, oh, this person's driving me nuts, but what about them is like me, you know?
Yeah.
So it's an interesting outlook, but
And
well, Janice, the light I see in you, I just pray I have a little of that light in me. I'm just like, good God, I hope I have that too. So yeah, that's what this slide reminded me of. So I just thought
I
I'd
love it.
throw
That's
that in there.
so true. And it's so hard to work on that. Like this makes it seem so cut and dried. Like this makes it seem black and white and oh, okay, it's this. Okay, I'll shift here. But when your emotions are caught up in there, it gets all entangled together and it is tricky to work through it. But that is the growth. That is what we need to work on to keep expanding and the more we do this, the more our own light shines through. And I'm going to tell you, like, don't compare yourself with someone who is like further down on their journey than where you are. Go back and look at where they came from. Okay. Go back and look at what they came through. And I'm not to say just me, but I was the quiet one. I was the quiet mouse growing up. Like in all my friends, I never said anything. I always thought I was the boring one because I wasn't the party girl. I wasn't the one invited because she's going to make us laugh or have fun. No, I did have a lot of friends that came to me when they were in trouble to talk, but I was never the one to be the center of attention. And going online, like if you go back and like sometimes my stuff is like, oh God, you shake your head and I don't look at my stuff because it's hard to look at yourself. Right. But just keep going, like just keep moving forward and it will unfold the way it's meant to unfold if you just keep working on being you and giving yourself permission to be you. That's the big thing. Okay.
What are the names of your mentors? Sorry, I know you said Gabby. I know her.
Yeah, Gabby, Melanie and Lair. So Melanie is a very, very high level coach. I can't afford her one-on-one, but I did take her 1 year. It's like an inner circle group thing. And it was very expensive too. But it has helped me immensely. It's called the Alpha Femme Experience. She also does just programs. You can just buy her programs too. She is a brilliant marketer. She is hard to find unless she's referred to, right? And I don't even know how she came. Oh, I know how she came into my world because Amanda Francis was another one that I took many courses from, centered around money. Because I had money traumas, right? So I needed to do a lot of work around that. And she came on a call with Amanda. They did one together. And that's the first time I saw her. And I was like, who is this girl? And she truly was at the beginning of her journey, not the beginning, midway to her journey, I guess. And now you look at her and it's like, holy man. So she helps women with luxury brands. That's her thing, is like, if you want to reach the 1% of the population, because she realized as she grew as a coach, there was no one mentoring the people that were already in that level of success. And so that's what she does. Amanda Francis is fun, and she coaches all around money. Gabby Bernstein was like the spiritual learning, the spiritual part of it all. And then Whitney is my creative. She keeps me creative. So, and she is helping me expand my business right now, because she also, like, she has a coaching program. And so she has helped me. I'm in a very small group of there's just 3 of us. Yeah, 4 of us now, that we meet with her. And she has been coaching us this past year on how to take your business to the next level. And her marketing assistant is coaching us also. So those are the main ones, I think, that I've used. Oh, and I did one-on-one coaching also with Jennifer Galanis Cupcho, who is in Soulfully Aligned Women. Some of you might know her. Yeah, so that was, and I haven't found anyone other than Melanie right now that I'm really leaning into so far. So, okay, so we can't take action and manifest our dreams when our heart is feeling deflated. Yeah, it's not going to happen if you have fears, and you need to work through those, right? The wise, wealthy woman recognizes other women are showing her exactly what is available to her. In the wealthy woman mind flow, this other woman is doing everything that is meant for you and has appeared in your life to show you how. So that is something that I did find with Melanie. I don't think right now I have the bandwidth to create $1 million business, let alone a $70 million business. But she's showing me that I can expand and keep expanding, and there are no limits, and I can take it to wherever I want it to be, right? Mind flow shift. When you see that other person doing it, yay, I'm next. It's getting closer to me. So when I was dreaming about my brand new vehicle, which was a Jeep that I always wanted, and my son purchased one before I did, it was like, first initial reaction, how the hell does he get to purchase a car like that, brand new, at his age? Second reaction is, yay, okay, it's right in my immediate circle. It's getting closer to me. Yay. So look at the other women around you that are going farther, that are reaching celebration points, that are expanding and going, yes, this is the circle of women I want to be around. This is the energy I want around me, right? Remember your epic life. Go ahead.
I got a question. When you're in this new, wow, you bought a Jeep, and I'm going to turn it around a little bit. You bought a Jeep, and your son comes up to you and says, "Oh, Mom, I hate you. You got a Jeep. I wanted to have a Jeep." And how do you respond to that? Is like, when somebody says that to you, like,
yeah,
when you're so excited and you imagine you drove up to your son's house and said, "Oh, look at my Jeep. I just bought a Jeep." And he goes, "Oh, I hate you, Mom. I wanted a Jeep." And it's like, so this big happy balloon is there, and all of a sudden he just takes a knife and shoves it in and deflates it. Where in any of this princess queendom do we rise back up?
Because in the princess, she will get injured and hurt and wounded. The wealthy woman will say, your time is coming. Come on, let's go for a ride. Come feel this energy. Right?
Okay, thank you. I get, something similar like that happened to me years ago, and it was like, I brought this to share with you.
Yeah.
And so that was how I responded was, wow, that's you, like you just deflated my energy that I wanted to share with you.
So you want to shift them into believing they can do it too. And that's what it's about. If I can do it, you can do it. Like shift into seeing that light within them, because they just looked at you and went, it's never happening for me. Right?
Okay.
Instead going, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I see you driving in whatever vehicle you want. I see you reaching these milestones. Come on, we can do this, right? Take some energy here and rise up into it, right? So
Yeah, it was just one of those, okay, that's great. You know, because you're sitting there, now let's go back to reality, and oh my gosh, my son got that.
mhm,
And he may have done the same thing to you. Mom, your time is coming. I
mhm.
don't know the situation. And thank you for sharing that. It's like your time is coming. So
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
somebody shows, you know, we do live in a very catty
Mhm.
society
Oh
where
yeah.
it's like, oh, you're better than me because you got that. And it's like, no, that's not what it's about. It's like I in my own personal is like, I just want to share. I just want to share it with you.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that
And
was
that's
kind of where I
why,
was.
and that's why we need more women that are wealthy, because we want to share. It's like, I think I said this before. It's like when you put out that big Thanksgiving meal and there's so much food, it's like, come on, you guys, get back here and eat some more. Like, I'm sharing with you, right? Like, come on. And so when you see, like, in this triggered me, I got so in Melanie's group, it was like there was woman after woman that were like, I made 600,000 yesterday. It's like, what? What? Or celebrating, I just had a $50,000 month. I'm so excited. And a lot of the women were in there going, yay, congratulations. This is awesome. And I'm looking at it going, yeah, okay. How'd you do that? Right. So I really had to work on that and work on the fact that, okay, if I'm in a group with these women that are hitting these money milestones, they're showing
Sorry.
me it can be done. Right? Go ahead, Delmaine.
When I started working with Marina at Sylvan Lake on the beach, like she was getting $600 in a day, and I was getting, $100. But with her energy, who is absolutely wonderful, I built that up, and I was even passing her sometimes. So it was really cool to see, because she was always so gracious and we worked together.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. We were working together, and she would send me customers and I would send her customers. And that's why it really worked. And she's such a good energy person to have around, and she has the same system beliefs that we do. And so it's just phenomenal what we create together when we're hanging out. And, I love being around her because of that. And it really does boost you.
It does. It does. And it depends on their energy too, right? So that's fantastic. And that's the idea. It's like, okay, now I know, it's all about they're showing me. And I have had people say, well, who am I to get that much money? Like there's that comes up. If you just made, your dream amount in a month, it's like, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, who am I to do this when I see people around me suffering? It's like, no, you have a direct channel here. You have a channel of light that you're tapping into the abundance of the universe, and they have the same channel, right? So how do we help them open their channel? It's not about me having to give and support to everyone else. It's about me helping them open that channel up to see that, you know what, you've got a lottery star right above you. Let's just tap into that, right? So yeah, and this is just, everything we've been talking about. Remember that you have this epic life. Remember to call in your support, both spiritually and a mentor or a coach. Don't be afraid to say, I'm working on this and it's like killing me and I'm just feeling so bitter inside. How do I shift this? Like, that's what your mentor or your coach is for, right? And if there is someone around you doing it, send them a thank you note for living fully in her light, right? I can't see that chat. Oh, okay. No problem. Lane, you go. We're just about at the end here too. Awesome.
Okay.
So
You guys.
bye. The universe created us all to shine. Celebrate other women while owning your own power. Be a star among the stars. There's more than enough room for one supernova in the universe, right? There's room for all of us and we get to rise together. So, and oops, there we go. Let's rise together. That's the end. So that is this one. I do quite love this one because it addresses a lot of those fears and self-sabotaging things that we do to ourselves. So anytime you feel like you're hitting a ceiling or a glass ceiling, or you're feeling that, then that's the time to sit down and work out that journal or call in a coach or a mentor. I mean, that's what I did with Jennifer. She helped me through so many things that were triggering me and creating glass ceilings for me. So, and that's today. I love you guys.
Thank you so much,
Janice, I just
Janice.
have one thing to ask you. I took a breathwork course a couple Sundays ago. My sister was going and I said, hey, do you mind if I come? And she said, sure. So this gentleman from Sylvan Lake puts on these breathwork, and it was interesting because I was very uncomfortable by how he put it on. And he had it quite commercialized in the sense that you wore headphones and they had a different speaker talking to you during the breath work. So they're telling you, and then all this music and all these echoey voices. And it just seemed so commercial to me. And I was actually feeling overwhelmed and I was having a hard time breathing and catching my breath. And he did tell us that, different things can happen and it can be very uncomfortable and all these different things. But I don't know, it was just very strange. And then I had a knee problem. He said there could be places where you have issues come up where you have some pain. And so my left knee was really cramping. And afterward, I did ask him, I said, is it, have you heard about people feeling like they were suffocating?
Uh-oh. We lost you, Delmain.
Going around a corner, probably.
Okay, you back?
Yeah.
Oh,
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay. Might have been in a dip, but anyway, it was very uncomfortable. And because when I was going in open-minded and I thought, okay, let me see if I can get what I need to do next, or if this is going to be something that'll help me. But in the end, I felt like I don't know, it was just weird. I've never felt that before. And they really, with the headphones on, they really take over.
Yeah. I've done a breathwork session. It was online and I just laid on the floor here and did it, and I was bawling by the end of it. Like, it just is powerful work. But that's the only breathwork I've done, so I haven't got a lot of experience in that area to comment.
I'm not familiar with the breath work.
Like, I felt like it was strange. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to think of it. Everybody else said they had a good experience or they felt unreal. And I just felt like it was overbearing and controlling. And maybe I didn't give up. Maybe I didn't open up enough. I don't know.
That's interesting. And
yeah,
I think
it's possible.
trust yourself, trust you and what your experience was, and maybe try some little bit of breath work on your own at home where there's not people around.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I think it was the commercialness of the tape recording. Like he came around and he would touch people if he felt like some of them needed some energy change, and he would touch them. So he did that once on my shoulder, and it's no big deal. But I just felt like, yeah, I don't know. I commercial part of it, the tape recording and all the echoey voices
yeah.
was over. And maybe I'm just, I'd like to talk commercials. I don't know. It was weird.
I would trust that. And also I'm not sure I would do a breath work in a large group because I would feel like people were watching me.
Oh, it's so loud in your head that and you're actually wearing a mask that covers your eyes.
Oh,
So
okay.
you are completely in it. I don't know, maybe I didn't like that because it's hard for me to be hypnotized because I never let myself go. Now, when I'm in control of it, I have no issue because I trust myself, but it's hard for me to trust somebody else
Well, and that,
guiding you in a way where you don't go, right?
yeah. And that in itself is something to dig into, Dalmain. It's like, okay, it was the control over me. There's something there for you in there. So maybe it's some past life stuff. Maybe, because yeah, maybe there's a shift coming.
There's when I think there's a little bit of science behind this, and the use of the headphones. If you're familiar with binaural beats, just look it up, and there's all kinds of meditations with binaural beats. What it does is it stimulates some of your neuropathic wavelengths, and they suggest that you always use it with a headset so that you're getting them bounce back from both sides. And there's something that happens to your subconscious with this. And yes, it can be very uncomfortable if you're not aware of what's going on. And that may be what you experienced.
Yeah.
So,
I think,
like Janice said,
it's related.
Yeah. Like Janice said, maybe do some of it at home. I don't know if I would still use the headset. And
I think I've lost you guys.
Yeah, she's getting out of our range, I think.
Okay.
Well, Dalmain, reach out if you want to chat. Okay.
I'll have to talk because I'm too. Okay, I'll talk to you.
Bye. Are you signing off now?
Yeah, we'll sign off now, and I will. I was going to say the Canva thing I could do tomorrow morning. If anyone can come, I'll make a post, and we'll see what's going on for everyone. Okay, in our group.
Okay, I'm not sure. I got the little people, so
okay.
I can't do tomorrow. I'm at a market all day.
Okay, well then I'll put a couple dates and we can see. Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Okay,
have a good day.
Bye.